finish, you pay it 4 times a year. So I went to the Reverend Father. I told the father, if you can help me, when I finish school, I will be able to go and work and pay the money back. Because the last year was difficult for me, because my brother also is going to school, and I have to work and pay for the 2 school fees. My father is a poor farmer. He is a trumpeter, and also is an artist who weaves baskets. And he's a singer. So when I see that it's not easy to go to school to forward my education, so I just focus on the work I know how to do, which is the weaving and the adire. Then I was perfecting it before I take a babysitter work. I took the babysitter work. I worked for 6 months, and I was able to pay for my the money I owed the Reverend Father for the school. I started this art with my great-grandmother at the age of 6. The way they pass education to kids in those days, whatever you are doing is what you teach your children. So when I lost my mother, and my grandmother died a year after that, so my great-grandmother raised me, and she was passing on the knowledge of adire to me, like a little housework. After going to the farm, coming back, so the housework that women do in those days that give them joy and pleasure is the adire. My adire started going to different markets at the age of 11. In the school, in those days, they teach you how to do craft. So they used to do 1 hour, and they run embroidery. Then I said, oh, this embroidery will even give me another pleasure, because anywhere I'm going, I just carry my little handkerchief, and I do it. I start selling it to people, 3 pence, and it cost me only maybe 1.5 pence. Then I was doing the embroidery, learning, also asking questions. I have a farm. My father is a farmer, so I produce my own cassava. I pound it myself. I make all those little gadgets, like the indigo is free. You go to the farm, you make your own indigo, and if you don't want to do your indigo, you can take it to a dyer that can dye your fabric for you. But because I don't have money to do all those, even what of food, what I eat mainly is kernel. And I look at that kernel, I say, oh, let me use it and put it inside the fabric to tie. And then it brings another design. Then we call it adire eleso. There is adire alakete, which have nothing inside. But the one with the seed, they use the seed that the birds actually eat, which I did in the early 60s, like 1968. The adire I did with dropping seed inside some of them. So, but because I don't have the money to buy those jero, I just decide to put kernel, and it brings another good pattern. Then I call it adire olokuta. Sometimes I will pick some stones, put inside. Then the one with the moon, you don't put anything in. It's the way you tie it that it brings the moon out. So there is all these little things you can put together. The broom for doing the adire, you just go to the farm, you do your own broom, and use it to make the line. The feather is the chicken or guinea fowl feather from the wing side. So I pick all those from the farm, and then if somebody is during Christmas, some people will kill the chicken. So I will go to them, I will beg for the feather. That is how I was able to get feather. Then when I discover the wax processing, I was using the candle to finish the adire leko that I was doing. So a little bit of the candle drop on the fabric, and the place with the wax come out brighter. Then I said, oh, what if I started using wax? But I don't have money to buy. But I went to the Reverend Father. I said, all the candles you are burning on the altar, where do you throw them? He said, oh, I should ask the altar boy. They are throwing it behind the house of the father. So I went there, I pick everything, I melt it together, I use cotton, I put it on the broom. And that is how I was using the cotton with the broom to make like a brush. So that is how I started using the wax. Then in my dream, I can see tortoise. I can see different type of art in my dream. What I do, immediately I wake up, I will quickly take the charcoal. I will put it on brown paper. This brown paper is the cement paper. So I always keep it. Then sometimes it just comes because it's natural gift. Some people know how to draw, some people can do pattern. Like the Adire pattern, nobody draw it somewhere. It's just the family will tell you how to fold the fabric. You watch them and you will be able to draw it directly on the fabric, because Adire pattern, you cannot sketch it before you do it. So you just follow the folding of 22 houses. That is for Ibadan. Olokun is 28 houses. You fold them in block and you beat it like this. And then after you open it, the line is already there. So you have already formed your line. All what you need to do is to use your broom to make the line with the cassava paste. I actually travel with a theater group to Shogbo because my father wanted to marry me at the age of 13 to a minister, and I run away. I joined a traveling theater. Then I become a dancer, and I sing, I do guitar. I was making money from on stage. One of the high points is Osogbo. When I moved to Osogbo, this American man just walked in one day. He was looking for a teacher to go and teach in US. But they have found 9 men in the whole 50 Africa country. But there is no female. Then he walked into because I was using my house. My first gallery was in my bedroom in 1968. I used my bedroom as my gallery. So he walked inside, I will cover my bed, I will put my work on top of the bed because a visitor comes, so that is my shop. So he walked in, he saw me weaving. He said, "Oh, what is this one?" I said, "It's called Aso-Oke." Then he said, "We are looking for a teacher and somebody recommend your name. I come all the way from Lagos to look for you." Then I was so happy. I said, "God has brought to Igbo who is going to buy my work," because I was looking for money to eat, not to say I want to travel. Yoni said, "We have 9 men and you are going to be the female." I said, "Oh, thank you." I was very excited. I was part of the group. I was so excited. This is one of the 4 steps of my going up in my life. This is me who never wears slippers until I was almost 13 years old. The rain is my slippers. The first rain, I will be putting my leg on the sand to make a shoe. And in the school, they always say, if you read your book, your bata will make konka. But I have nobody to buy me the shoe, and I always take first position in the school. So when I look at my first slippers, and now I'm going to the state, I have no shoe. I was wearing flip-flop. This is my flip-flop. I was so happy. I can afford to buy it. It's like 3 pence by then. So I will wash it. Only when I'm going to church, I wear this shoe. So then I was saying, they said it's cool in overseas. What am I going to wear when I'm going? Then they said, oh, I have to go to where they sell tokumbo to see if I can really buy something. So I now just drop all my work because I cannot sell. It's very difficult to sell at work in those days. You just do it because you love doing it. So I'm not doing it because I really wanted money, but that is the only thing I know how to do. So what I do, I leave my art and I went to start doing briki pong pong. So I was able to save something like 400 naira. Then I went to Tokumbo. I bought Tokumbo shoe. I bought Tokumbo gown. I will show you the picture. And I said, if I get there, I'm going to be telling the people, if it's cold, can you give me blanket? I said I'm going to be telling them what I don't have because I don't hide my feeling. After I come back, I started the workshop in 1982. Actually, I was teaching locally just to the other female around me. But I really wanted something like a center. I cannot afford it until 1982, where I have this little 3-bedroom house. Then I started behind the yard. Then later on, I turned my living room to the workshop for the young people who are selling pepper on the street. I put all of them together. You can come with your baby, and then I keep them for 6 months. Any work they do belong to them. When I was running the workshop on patchwork, they said, Mommy, why do you cut this fabric and you are joining it together? They said it's messing the fabric up. And then I said, this is what I see in America. But I don't know how to do it well. I have to go back to Lagos, come to Lagos here, go to American Women's Club. I tell them, I see something like patchwork. I would like to learn it from you. And then they now teach me that they do it twice in a month. I should be coming, and anything I see there, I was going with 2 or 3 of my students, and that is how we start the patchwork. And the patchwork now has come into fashion. People are now using Ankara for patchwork. People are using different fabric, chiffon, silk, different type of fabric, and they patch it together and it make a beautiful clothes for the beautiful weather in Nigeria. Up till now, I always sleep by 2 o'clock. Then I only have 2 or 3 hours sleep. I have to wake up very early in the morning to go and make sure I make the breakfast for my husband. I always like to do the cooking by myself. Then the thing is going to eat, the lunch, I have already cooked it in the house before I come. So then, when I get home in the evening by 5 o'clock, I will do the cooking again. During the time I was facing the art in Osogbo, I was struggling along with all the men artists. It's a big challenge for me. Only few of them agree for me to really be part of them. So these few of them who really agree for me to be part of them are not too jealous, but a lot of them are very bitter that how can a woman become an artist and this is the food we don't give to our own children to eat. So you are giving it to somebody to eat. So it's a big challenge, but I face it. And with the government, the problem I have before is the police. So police used to arrest us because sometimes people will go and report and said, they are doing dyeing here. Then the police did not know what, they will say, there is one chemical they are pouring here. It's smelling, it's so. So the police will come, they will see the dye, they will say, why don't you bring the dye from US? Why are you doing this smelling dye? Then I said, this is our traditional indigo dye because it has to ferment. It's in the sun for 7 days, and this is the natural thing that people are coming to look at. So little by little, I said, any police that come to Osogbo, I will go and introduce myself to the DPO. I now